Hey guys, welcome to the channel. As you guys see now, we are going to see top 5 anime main character who can beat Thanos. And please subscribe if you are new to the channel, like and comment on what to do next versus or reactions or what if. Spoiler warning. Now let's start with number 1. Yogiri Takatu is the primary male protagonist of Sokushi Cheat ga Psycho Sugai, Isekai no Yatsura ga Marudite ni Naranai en Deizu ga aka Instant Death. He is a high school student who got transported to another world by a woman called Sion. After being abandoned by his classmates, Yogiri and his new friend Tomochika decides to explore the new world outside, hoping to find a new way back home. Yogiri has been shown to possess a special and powerful ability that can instantly kill anything he desires with a single thought. Despite his powerful ability, he is incapable of achieving the goal of returning home with it, and thus he makes his way through the new world in order to find a way back home. Through the story, however, we slowly learn of Yogiri's true nature. An eldritch horror-type being who, for unknown reasons, manifested himself as Yogiri back in the old world. Abilities. Instant Death. Instant Death is Yogiri's ability to kill anything with a single thought. Although he usually says something like, die, along with it, it's actually stated and shown to be thought based on multiple occasions, as he can also activate it while saying anything else, such as, you're the eyesore. It has been noted that what phenomena occurs after he targets an object to kill it is dependent on Yogiri's cognition of the death. For example, if a door's purpose is to block the way into another room, it only becomes logical that once the door dies, it will allow him to cross the entrance. However, this is something that Yogiri does not actively do when using his ability, as it occurs by itself. Despite the name of the ability, it is not necessarily instantaneous if Yogiri decides to not make it so, as there is some leeway as to when his targets can die, as long as they do die by eventually. Seemingly connected to the nature of instant death, Yogiri's perception of the world shows him any hostility directed at him or his allies, or just plain hazards, and he used that to track enemies he would not normally be capable of detecting, predict their movements, thought patterns, or automatically retaliate with the activation of instant death. Moreover, his ability is beyond fate and time itself, and was even able to kill an entity from a higher plane of existence, who was beyond space and time altogether. Partial killing. Yogiri can kill specific limbs or the organs of his targets if he wants, such as their senses: looking, hearing, smelling, arms, legs, fingers, hands, etc. It should be noted that even if you cut off the affected limb and try to regenerate, heal it, said limb will still be affected by his ability, and thus won't ever function again, no matter what the target does. It should be noted that at the beginning of series, Yogiri wasn't fully capable of killing specific parts of the body, but he eventually learned how to do it by training with his powers. Immortality negation. Yogiri is not only capable of killing anything, but he can also completely negate different types of immortality, such as resurrection, regeneration, undead people, and even targets to whom the concept of death doesn't apply. Furthermore, even if the enemy resides in a different plane and uses avatars to attack Yogiri, he can reach the true form by killing said avatars. Resistance immunity negation. Yogiri's power is capable of completely bypassing immunity and resistance towards instant death abilities. Spiritual killing. Yogiri is capable of killing ghosts and spirits alike, which also includes souls, as seen when he killed the soul fragments in Chelsea's dolls and Teresa's soul. Inorganic killing. Yogiri is able to kill inanimate objects, nature elements, and inorganic beings such as robots, clothes, ice, wood, etc. Data destruction. Yogiri's ability has been shown to kill and destroy programs, such as the Judge. Abstract semantic erasure. Yogiri is able to choose what he will kill, which includes how this can affect other objects, people, or the environment. He can kill his momentum when falling to slow down his fall and land safely. He can also kill things based on his conceptualization. If he, for example, killed someone's memory of an event, they would lose that memory completely. If he decided to kill gravity, he could negate gravity either locally or planet-wide. He is capable of killing abstract phenomena and erasing concepts outright, such as time or space. Killing intent, precognition, and black lines of death. Yogiri can sense and foresee any incoming danger that might harm him or his allies beforehand, being able to quickly kill the cause or just dodge the said harm flawlessly. Moreover, he can also see black lines, fogs on people or places, which indicates that there is potential danger involving them. Fate protection. Yogiri is an existence protected by fate itself, as mentioned by Aoi, even surpassing the fate power amount of those who are considered high destiny value existences, such as sword saints or Vahanato. As seen with his fight with Aoi and Yukimasa, every destination and possibility leads to Yogiri's victory and safety, since that is how fate itself wants it to be. Swordsmanship. Despite him still being not too strong physically, he has already learned some sword techniques and martial arts from Tomochika, and was even able to kill an average monster with just his sword. Gates. Due to wanting to be as human as possible, Yogiri constantly restrains his power with gates that are locked within his mind. By imagining them opening, he can release more of his powers one by one. Each gate, when unlocked, leads Yogiri to a new phase, and each phase greatly amplifies his power. From the second gate and up, those doors would automatically close after a certain period of time. This process was set up to prevent him from accidentally destroying the world. The exact number of gates is currently unknown, but he is stated to possess numerous of them. Abstract existence. The Yogiri that we know is only a shell, a vessel for an abstract being from a higher plane to interact with reality. No matter what kind of damage is done to Yogiri, it means nothing for his true form. It also seems to manifest against whatever or whoever tries to kill the vessel for good. Only part of its appearance has been revealed, and it alone is enough to drive targets to fear and insanity. Additionally, this true form exists since the beginning of all things, and it is omnipresent across all of space and time of the multiverse. The end of all things. Yogiri's true form is seemingly the embodiment of non-existence that represents the end of all things, something that no one could ever hope to surpass, and the final destination of all fate. Aoi stated that Yogiri's human form is the end of everything in the form of a normal person, further supporting the fact that his true form is something completely abstract and metaphysical. Against such a being, even fate and plot are less than a joke, similar to a disaster calamity that can't be fathomed. Born-again immortality. Yogiri is able to live 100 years, and after the death of his current incarnation, he will be reborn as a baby. This cycle seems to continue endlessly. Number 2, Kami Tenchi. This guy is a transcendent entity that is as incomprehensible and boundless in existence to the Chushin, who are already transcendent in relation to dimensions, non-existence, logic, and any scientific theories, as they are beyond the understanding of ordinary beings. It is also harder to argue that the entity should be high 1A, rather than tier 0, as he does not have any known relevant minor limitation, nor does he have any being above or equal to himself. Kami Tenchi is technically a fan name. The Supreme Being has not been given a distinctive title. Abilities: reality warping, light manipulation, true flight, portal creation, time travel, omnipotence, omniscience, omnipresence. Number 3, Rimuru Tempest. Rimuru Tempest, formerly known as Satoru Mikami, is the main protagonist of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Partner and best friend of the true dragon Beldora Tempest, Rimuru is the founder and king of the Jura Tempest Federation in Jura Forest. He is one of the demon lords of the Octagram. He lives in Rimuru City, the capital city of the Jura Tempest Federation. Ultimate skills: Raphael, Lord of Wisdom, evolved from Wise One after sacrificing Degenerate. Mind Accelerate, lets user extends their thoughts by up to 1,000,000 times. Analyze and Assess, analyzes and assesses the target. Parallel Operation, operates on any matter the user wishes to analyze, separating it from the regular thought process. Any process under parallel operation is affected by Mind Accelerate and therefore sped up by 1,000,000 times. Cast Cancel, annuls the casting period required when using magic, etc. All of Creation, allows the user to fully comprehend any non-concealed phenomenon as long as they have a certain amount of knowledge beforehand. Synthesize, transforms two differing targets into a single object. Separate, release the properties inherent to the target and make it into a separate object. Skill Modification, allows the user to modify or even evolve skills under the right circumstances. Future Attack Prediction, allows the user to see from a series of outcomes which is going to happen. The results that have been calculated have a 100% chance of occurring. Beelzebub, Lord of Gluttony, evolved from gluttony after sacrificing Merciless. Predation, absorbs the target into the user's body. Chance of success is lowered if the target has a consciousness of any kind. Predation can be used on organic, inorganic and non-physical objects, e.g. spiritual life forms like spirits and demons, as well as skills, magic, arts and any projectile type attacks of the aforementioned categories, as well as magicules themselves. Compared to its unique skill counterpart, gluttony, it has been improved and can now ignore space and time to consume anything in the user's perception. Stomach stores the predated target. It can also store materials created via analysis. Items stored in the user's stomach are unaffected by time. Its space is roughly 10x that of gluttony's. Mimicry allows Rimuru to reproduce the form and skills of absorbed targets. Only available once the target has been fully analyzed. Originally, most intrinsic skills gained from a predated species could only be used at full capacity by taking the form of said species, but universal shapeshift negates that issue. Isolation stores harmful effects that are incapable of being analyzed, neutralizing them and breaking them down into magicules. Rot inflicts rot on the target, decomposing it if it is organic. Monster corpses partially absorbed in this manner will reward the user with part of the monster's skills. This effect is imbued by predation. Soul consume, the ability to seize the souls of anyone begging for their lives, seeking help from the user, retreating, or running away. Once the condition is met, the soul can be seized at any time afterward, from virtually any distance instantly. The user can be informed about any malicious thoughts by the target immediately. The souls of the recently killed can also be seized. Food chain, derived from, receive, and, provide. An ability that allows the user's subordinates to provide their strength to increase his own. He may also divert some of his strength down to them. Food chain also grants him access to the skills of those connected to him. Uriel, Lord of Vows, the combined state of all the abilities received from food chain after the harvest festival, using the space manipulating unlimited imprisonment as a base. Spatial domination, the enhanced version of spatial manipulation that allows the user to, among other things, teleport instantly with little to no delay, to a place the user has coordinates of, as well as lock the local space around the user to prevent space from being manipulated. Universal barrier provides absolute defense with a multi-layer barrier and the severing of space between each layer. Unlimited imprisonment traps the target in an infinitely complex number of spatial dimensions. Law manipulation, black fire and thunder. Total magical control. Total control of the properties of heat and inertia. The ability to freely store and remove heat from the stomach. It is also capable of altering reality. Rimuru's version of this ability allows him to use the skills he obtained via food chain. Veldora, Lord of Storms, gained after Beelzebub ate Veldora's remains inside the stomach. Summon Storm Dragon, an ability that calls forth Veldora in his dragon form. Restore Storm Dragon, an ability that copies Veldora's memories into his own mind. In other words, if Veldora dies for some reason, he can replace him, or, to put it another way, the real Veldora would reside within his own soul. Storm Magic allows the user to access storm magic. Azathoth, God of Void, unification of Lord of Wisdom and Lord of Gluttony after sacrificing Storm King and Scorch King, Volume 16. Soul Consumption, a super enhanced version of Predation Gluttony, which can devour the target's soul ignoring space-time. Nihility Collapse, turn null, nothingness decay, the ultimate destructive energy that fills the chaotic imaginary space and is able to be used at full efficiency thanks to the nucleus of Theosophite manas. Imaginary space, the world of chaos. The ultra-evolved version of stomach and isolation, with unlimited size. It's a prison where those who need to be quarantined are locked up. Space-time domination, manipulating and bending time and space to the user's will, being able to move in an instant just by consciously thinking about it. Even allows the user to interfere with time. Multi-dimensional barrier, absolute defense is achieved through the separation of spatial dimensions and several powerful barriers. Able to block anything the user can comprehend. Shub Niggurath, King of Harvest, core of Uriel merged with all the skills gained via food chain. Skill creation, allows the user to create brand new skills based on the information obtained from analysis, and skill duplication, allows the user to recreate skills that they have a full analysis of. Skill granting, allows the user to grant skills to a target, assuming they're compatible. Skill bank, stores the information of all analyzed skills so they can be recreated later. Number 4. Anos Voldegode is the reincarnation of the man who was feared as the demon king of tyranny 2,000 years ago, and is the main protagonist of Mao Gakuen no Futekigosha. Abilities. Source of destruction. Anos possesses a unique source specializing in destruction. As a Voldegode, Anos' blood is the king of destruction. The Voldegode bloodline have difficulty having children because their destructive sources are against birth. Death and destruction are the nourishment of the fetus. The closer the mother is to destruction, the better the environment for the birth of the child. The death of Anno's mother as she gave birth to Annos certainly contributed to Anno's immense destructive power. Moreover, Annos is a lion of destruction capable of destroying the Silver Sea. As stated by Ronculus Zabat, Anno's source is a hellish environment with incredible destruction raging inside. Immense magic power. Annos possesses an extraordinary amount of magic power which surpasses all other beings he has encountered. His power is so monumental that it cannot be measured by normal means. In his fight with Graham, Annos reveals that he holds back his power. In contrast to Graham, whose all-out effort is to unleash all the magic from his source, Annos suppresses and offsets his own power with itself and controls the barely remaining magic so that the world will not be destroyed. Furthermore, while it has been revealed that Annos has enough magic power that his own world could be destroyed by his very presence, even deeper worlds would not be unscathed in the event that he releases more power. Overcoming destruction. The closer Annos approaches destruction, the stronger his source becomes. Although this truth applies to all sources, Annos specializes in destruction magic, therefore his power is even stronger. Annos' source can overcome its own destruction, though it is still uncertain what exactly this means. One possibility is that Annos simply uses the power he gains as he approaches destruction to prevent his own destruction, therefore overcoming it. Another less likely possibility is that if Annos' source is destroyed, and therefore reaches infinite power and returns to destruction as Annos theorizes, it will overcome its own destruction and reform again, as Graham stated that both their sources have a similar nature, i.e. being able to reform after destruction. Source intimidation. Magic power comes from the source itself, so if it becomes afraid of the opponent, it causes the magic to go out of control and explode. As the demon king of tyranny, Annos is far stronger than others, thus it is feared by many. Demon King's blood. The Demon King's blood spews out from Annos' source whenever it is damaged, which uncontrollably corrodes whatever damaged his source, including conceptual attacks like God's authorities, and also the surrounding area. Immense physical strength. Annos has displayed an insane level of physical strength whenever magic was rendered insufficient. As shown during the inter-team battle exam, where he lifted up Sasha's entire castle with a single hand, and spun it around his index finger. He also displayed his physical strength when he opened up the ginormous gates that guarded his specter hidden beneath the castle. Annos also moved the moon with physical strength to create a solar eclipse, though he needed magic to reach the moon in order to grasp it. Annos could physically hold up the collapsing heavenly canopy of the underground world with his own raw strength. It's also been stated that Annos can destroy a universe with only his fists. Immense physical speed. Annos displays insane levels of physical speed whenever it is necessary in order to defeat his opponents. Annos was casually faster than Gazel Apt Agila, who literally turned into light itself and achieved lightspeed in an attempt to intercept Annos. Annos also displayed his immense physical speed when he reacted to, blocked, and caught Aegis Code's Crimson Blood Magic Spear Dihidotum, which transcends space-time, and has no concept of time, or distance between opponents, and any kind of armor or speed is nothing in front of it. Essentially, Annos is able to move when zero time has passed. Demon King Origin Magic Immunity. Origin magic is a type of magic that borrows the power from an ancient being to cast. Being the Demon King himself, any spell cast that calls for his own power is rendered useless against him. High intelligence and spell theory knowledge. Annos possesses high intelligence as shown by his many victories over his enemies as he outsmarts and overpowers them in battle. He has also mastered almost all types of magic, but he admits that he loses to Kanan in source magic. He also mentions that the only category he is completely unrivaled in is destruction magic, and that Misha could potentially surpass him in creation magic. Additionally, Annos easily creates many powerful spells on the fly and during battle. He also masterfully enhances spells previously thought to be perfect. Some examples of Annos' feats include: Annos memorized and learned a complicated magic formula in 1 second which took Sasha 1 month to learn, and then proceeded to complete the formula which even the creator wouldn't have been able to do for another 1,000 years after witnessing it only once. Annos effortlessly deciphered hundreds of thousands of magic characters with one look which would take an accomplished mage a whole day to do. Annos is knowledgeable about the atomic structure of objects, and when he uses creation magic to create an object, he doesn't just create the object but also the atoms that make up the object. Magic Eyes of Destruction. These magic eyes are capable of destroying, disintegrating everything in Annos' sight, including a person's mind and magic itself. Additionally, These magic eyes can put people to sleep for at least a day. These magic eyes can seemingly act automatically to destroy powers that attempt to affect thanos, making it the ultimate anti-magic. Magic eyes of chaotic destruction. The essence of this magic eye is destruction, but in chaotic form. It has the power to destroy even the indestructible. With merely the opening of this magic eye, the world begins to collapse and become chaotic. This magic eye is capable of destroying order and reason. If there's a contradiction between this magic eye and the reason that must be destroyed, thanos will win unilaterally. Compared to the reason which makes a single event certainly happen, it's far more advantageous for this magic eye which makes this event never happen. This magic eye can seemingly act automatically to destroy powers that attempt to affect thanos and anything that contradicts thanos' will. It was the original magic eyes of thanos before he suppressed its power to the utmost limit, obtaining the more reasonable magic eyes dyed in destructive purple that can destroy order, and later exchanged his right eye with the god of destruction Abernu's right eye, divine eyes of apocalypse, obtaining the much weaker magic eyes of destruction. Thanos is still able to use the original power of the magic eyes of chaotic destruction even after losing his right eye. Hell Flame Annihilation Mortar Geo Graze. Said to be the highest ranking of attack fire magic within the demon race's magic system, a powerful miniature jet black sun which can be fired off at the enemy like a comet. As is the case with all forms of magic, the more powerful the user, the more powerful the spell becomes. In the mythical age, one caster could use multiple Geo Graze, but in the magical age, 20 people could only reach a 20% success rate. Magic Black Thunder Emperor Geras, the origin magic that borrows power from the demon king of tyranny. It is a typhoon of powerful black lightning that rains destruction onto enemies. Magic Black Thunder Fang G Noausgerasti is used to activate the technique of G Noavs, causing the black lightning to mercilessly cling and tear into the enemy's source until they are destroyed for good. Source Kill Babesti. Thanos stains his fingertips in dense black magic particles and impales with his spear hand towards the enemy. This directly attacks the source, possibly destroying it permanently if the attack is successful. Deep Source Kill Babesti. By deepening the original Babesti, this more powerful variant was formed. It possesses the same properties as the original Babesti, with the only difference being that it is many times more powerful than the original. Four Worlds Wall Bano Yevon, the wall that divided the world into four 2,000 years ago. It was made by combining the magic power of the god of creation, the Great Spirit, the hero, and the demon king. It rejects everything and destroys them. However, Melheis had taken it before it disappeared 1,000 years ago. Thanos can clad any part of his body in the same wall that separated the world, to act as either a protective barrier or to strengthen his attacks. Hell Flame Binding Chains Magic Formation Zora e Dipto, a magical technique that summons chains of hell flame to constrict the enemy's movements and finish them off. Demon King Castle Summon Less than Dulsgade Greater than. This great magic that moves the Demon King Castle Dulsgade, capable of emitting enormous magic power because it was originally a fixed magic tool, which was certainly impossible 2,000 years ago. However, origin magic is older, and by borrowing from an entity with greater magical power, it is possible to produce extraordinary results. If we borrowed power from Dulsgade 2,000 years ago, it is not impossible to summon Dulsgade of this era, which has a close relationship with it. Thanos can only use Venuzdanoa within the vicinity of his Demon King's castle. However, he can summon his castle anytime he wishes in exchange for using up a lot of his magic power. All creation hand less than Aeneas greater than. The magic that allows the user to ignore physical distances, grasping, and taking control of everything. Thanos used this magic to move the moon to make an eclipse happen 9 days earlier than it should have. Wavy Body Possibility Manifestation less than Venegiera greater than. Ano's magic power fluctuates between possibility, so too does his source in his body. When Thanos uses this ability, he encompasses all possibilities, the possibility that he attacks, or the possibility that he doesn't, all at once. Therefore, when using this ability, Thanos could be standing still yet attacking at the same time. Demon Curse Necrosis Destruction less than Deguzegdo greater than. A curse resembling a black snake that appears on the body and causes the opponent's magical power to run amok, leading to their death. Less than Superimpose greater than. Thanos can superimpose some of his attacks on top of each other to increase its power output. Zhao Death Annihilation Brilliant Fire less than Aviastan Jara greater than. A fire magic developed by Mage King Bomiras that is an attribute higher than the Geo Graze. By forming a three-dimensional magic circle via multiple geograzes, intense heat rays can be gathered on any part of the body, resulting in an immensely powerful jet black flame. Shackle collars of dream and reality less than Netanarias greater than. Thanos summons a collar around the neck of a defeated enemy, which can induce them into a nightmare they will never wake up from unless either they fulfill certain conditions, or Thanos releases them of his own volition. Ash purple destruction thunder fire electric field less than Lavia Gigu Gavriized greater than. Magic spell Thanos ends up inheriting from his original father. Said to be destruction magic with power that far outstrips that of less than Girisdi greater than. Immensely powerful purple lightning rains down from the heavens to simply annihilate anything in its way. Grasping magic hand less than Rayon greater than. A deep magic Thanos acquires during the events of the Silver Sea. Thanos coats his hands in layers of special magic that can be used to catch magic directed towards him by an enemy, or magic he himself produces. He can then compound said magic multiple times back and forth between his hands to make it many times more powerful before shooting it back at an enemy. Supreme flame magic heavy cannon less than Dagda Asbedera greater than. Highly explosive flame magic that trails towards the enemy in the form of a blue star. As a deep magic, its power is far beyond less than Geo Graze greater than, to the point that it's not even comparable. Extreme Hell World Destruction Ash Magic Mortar less than Eagle Grown Angdroa greater than. Ano's first world destroying magic. Origin magic that unleashes apocalyptic flames that burn, destroy and reduce everything to ashes. It borrows power from the past god of creation and god of destruction of the world, from the past user themselves, and also adds the power of the present user to it. It burns what should not be burned, destroys what should not be destroyed, and reduces the entire universe to ashes. The reason why this magic isn't positioned as the highest level of fire attribute magic is because it only has the form of a flame, but is actually a completely different thing, and is more properly positioned as a destruction attribute magic. If the apocalyptic flames are not controlled, it will destroy hundreds and thousands of worlds. Nirvana 7 Steps Conquest less than Giliarium Navium greater than. Ano's second world destroying magic. Deepening magic that releases the destructive power condensed at Ano's source with each step and raises the level of all power. If the seventh step is unleashed, the world will be destroyed 1,000 times over, and there would still be power to spare. Weapons. Reason destroying sword less than Venuzdanoa greater than. The magic sword of the founder which can destroy all things in creation. No matter how tough, eternal or infinite it is, Venuzdanoa will destroy it alongside its reason. Venuzdanoa was created by transforming the god of destruction Aberniu's divine body into the demon king Casseldol's Gade, therefore distorting and disrupting the order of destruction, and transforming the god of destruction's authority, the son of destruction less than Sargoldanave greater than, into a magic in the form of a sword that destroys reason. Before this reason-destroying sword, all reason is meaningless. Magical things like distances and dimensions are irrelevant. In front of this reason-destroying sword, all reason turns to nothing, therefore it is useless to think about what it can or cannot do. Venuzdanoa can only be used in the vicinity of the Demon King Casseldol's Gade. The Demon King Casseldol's Gade can be summoned via less than Dol's Gade greater than. And so on.
Number 5 Akudo Sai. Akudo Sai is the primary protagonist of the series Demon King Daimao. He is an orphan who transfers into Constant Magic Academy, hoping to someday become a high priest for the benefit of society. However, upon arriving, Yadagarasu, the school's oracular spirit, predicts that he will become a demon king in the future. At his strongest he is Hyperverse level plus. He created countless universes in a contest with extra universal gods, making universes of gravity and anti-gravity and so on. His power is comparable to that of Featherine from Yumaniko. Sai Akudo also searched in infinite number of universes, for one that humanity would survive. He didn't find a single one and couldn't really do a single thing about it because of the law of identity. He can and does create, destroy an infinite number of universes. Powers and abilities. Manipulation of reality, manipulation of probability, text manipulation, manipulation of time, space manipulation, manipulation of causality, void manipulation, manipulation of information, immortality, acausality, cosmic awareness, omnipresence, nigh omnipotence attack potency, hyperverse level plus durability, hyperverse level plus speed, omnipresent striking strength, irrelevant lifting strength, irrelevant stamina, unlimited range, hyperverse level plus afterlife, a world controlled by Akudo in which he can do everything, except kill himself and can destroy the world itself. He also absorbed all the souls of humanity. He gets this ability at Eos Rider, the ability to see and control the worlds as information, like to write a story in fiction. Endless logical possibilities could include anything that can be described. There are universes of different sizes, through infinite space, with all sorts of laws. There are stories that include parallel worlds, infinite dimensional spaces, as well as foreign gods, for whom all this is nothing more than fiction, and even lower beings are able to think in terms of an infinitely dense infinity. Stories can be raised to the power, forming a structure where the real worlds for some creatures are only dreams or fiction for the second, whose worlds are also a story for the third. This hierarchy can aspire even to infinity, but the law of identity will always be higher than that of any level. He can create any structure, even infinitely dense, but still not be able to go beyond the history written by the law of identity. Chaos. The unfolding of all the possibilities at the same time creates chaos, not only about the possible developments in the universe, but all infinite logical and illogical possibilities, and among them are those where there are beings with powers similar to Akudo, that is, they are beginning to deploy their worlds of possibilities. There are stories of different levels: strong, history is taken, weak. The body of emptiness, the gift received from the law of identity. Akudo became void as the law of identity went to her anti-world. Basically infinite universes with infinite spatial dimensions is just a speck to him. Sai Akudo completely transcends infinite dimensional multiverses. He basically has control over infinite dimensional multiverses, and he can keep creating planes higher than that and can keep doing so forever.